Hey, this is Noah with the Creative Startup Podcast. I'm here today to talk about goals. The other day I was out to lunch with a friend and we got to talking about her trip. She's going to Europe this week. Really fun, exciting trip. And she looked at me and said, Noah, I've been really surprised. A lot of people, when I tell them I'm going on this really awesome trip, will look back and just say, oh yeah, I thought about doing that once. I thought about going on a great trip when I was 20. And too often, this is the response we get when we tell people that we're going to pursue our dreams. That we're going to, for you as a creative person, maybe it's that you're going to go to school to get better at playing guitar. Or maybe it's that you're going to pursue a career in graphic design or copywriting or whatever it is that you want to do. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I thought about that. I thought that would be a nice idea with my life, but then I chose something else. I want to tell you the difference between you and them, the difference between I thought about and I did, the difference between Kanye West and your rapping neighbor next door boils down to setting good goals. If you listen to Kanye's early stuff, he was talking about where he's going to be today. He already knew in his head, he had this goal of becoming the greatest rapper in the world, and you can debate, whatever, but a lot of people think he's right. He is one of the most influential artists in the whole world because that was his goal. So we're going to talk about 5 steps today on how to set good goals so that you're not the person that says, I thought about, and so that you are the person that says, I did. Step 1, stop wasting time not achieving your goal. Now, step 1, stop wasting time not achieving your goals. I've been reading this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I really like, he's got this little chart in here. It says, here are activities that are urgent, and here are activities that are not urgent. Here are activities that are important, and activities that are not important. Now, a lot of our time is spent in the urgent category, preventing crises, pressing problems, and deadline-driven projects. We're doing these things that are important, and they press on us urgently. We got to get them done. We also do things that are not important but are urgent, like interruptions, some phone calls, checking the mail, reading a bunch of reports or news, meetings, proximate pressing matters, and popular activities. These things that seem like, oh, you got to be a part of them, they're all going on, or maybe they come and grab your attention. Really, when you sit back and think about it, they're not getting you where you want to go. They're not pushing you forward into the right goals that you should be setting. He says in this book, instead, the place we want to be, spend most of our time, is in this important but not urgent category. Doing things like prevention, relationship building, recognizing new opportunities, planning, and recreation. Things that set you up for a good future, not things that are just responses to everything that's going on around you right now. So I know as a musician, as an artist, as a creator, as a blogger, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is you're trying to create, you're often told you got to hustle, work, hustle, hustle, hustle. But if you're not really clear on where you're going, you might be hustling in the wrong direction, or you might be hustling in circles. And that's a huge problem. If you actually really want to get somewhere, you got to take the time to decide where it is you want to get. Step 2, you got to detox a little bit from everything that the world is telling you. I've heard statistics that we see about 2,000 ads a day as people. 2,000 times someone is telling you what to want, how to want it, and that they have the answer to sell you. So oftentimes this idea of what we truly want as people gets really diluted by advertisement and by what everyone else wants and what's popular in the culture. And you have certain people who just go along with it. They're happy to buy whatever's popular. They're happy to go along with whatever trend. And we kind of think of those people as shallow or maybe phony people, right? Then there's the opposite of that person. I'm not mainstream. The guy who thinks he's better than everything that's popular. But the problem with both of these philosophies towards life, the problem with both of these ways of thinking is that they depend on what everyone else is doing, not what you want, not what's really important to you. They're all influenced by other people. So you need to take a little bit of time and get rid of those ideas that are given to you by the popular culture, by advertisements, by all that stuff, and decide what's really important to you. Is having a big house really that important to you? Is driving a nice car really that important to you? That's always something that I thought, it'd be nice to drive a nice car. Then when I think about it, why? Why? As long as I drive a reliable car, maybe I'll get a Honda Civic or something. Something that will get me A to B, comfortable, nice enough, but it's not that expensive and it's not superfluous. Nobody looks at a Civic and goes, "Oh, nice car." It's just a car. It gets you place. It's just a car. Gets you point A to point B, does its job. And there's a lot of things in life that we think we want so bad. Like, I thought I wanted a really nice car, or maybe I think I want a really nice phone, or I think I want this really nice guitar. Then when I think about really why, a lot of it's just because that's what everyone else wants. That's what I've been told to want. That's what I should want. But at the end of the day, the car that I have right now, the guitar that I have right now, the place that I'm staying right now, it's all fine. It all works just great. And if I were to put all my time and effort into getting those things that culture has given me to want, I would waste so much time just chasing after stuff that when I get it, I don't really even care about. Step 3. You got to close your eyes and think for this step. And that's really, really hard in our modern day, and I understand that. I know that our attention spans are short and that there's always things grabbing our attention, fighting for our attention. But it's so crucial that you step back and think a little bit and try to kind of piece together based on what you truly want. Not what the culture wants for you, based on what you truly want. Who is that person that embodies those things that you want? Does that make sense? Say you want to be an honest person. You do want to be wealthy, maybe. Let me just use myself as an example. I want to be wealthy to a point. I want to be honest. I want to be able to travel. I want to work in music. And I want to help creative people make a career out of what they're doing as a creative person. Those are 5 things that are really important to me. Maybe not everybody in the popular culture, but me. So then when I think about me in the future, I want to embody those things. I want to travel a lot in the future. I want to be a great producer in the future. I want to be helping musicians in the future. I want to be doing all these things that embody these values that I have. So in your time, close your eyes, think, who's that person? In this time, close your eyes, think, who is that person that embodies those qualities that I think are so important? Who is that person who travels? Who is that person that produces well? Once you have that ideal person, that future you that embodies all of your values and purposes, all the things that you think are important, take yourself now and subtract yourself from that person. Subtract your resources, your talents, your abilities, your skills, all these things. What's the difference between you right now and this person? And that's what you're going to use to form your goals. If that doesn't quite make sense, let me put it in more simple terms. Let me apply it to my own case. In the future, my ideal person is wealthy. If I'm going to make money, you have to make money anyway. Might as well get good at it, right? So my future person is wealthy. Me right now, not wealthy. Still paying off school. I'm going to keep paying off school for another couple of years. Not wealthy. So I need to make being wealthy a part of my goals, right? That needs to be on my priority list. I need to say, my goal is to be financially independent, meaning I don't have to ask someone for a paycheck, and I don't have to make a bunch of my decisions based on not having money. Does that make sense? Or say in the future, my ideal self is a great producer. Right now, I'm just an okay producer. So I need to set goals around, my goals need to be becoming better at producing 2 records a year, producing 3 records a year. Stuff like that. That's really applicable. That's going to make that difference between my future perfect self and my current self. That's going to close that gap. Step 5, set a timeline. Right here is one of my favorite little philosophy books on the shortness of life. It's by Seneca. He's this really brilliant old Roman guy. And he says that let me find this page. It says, you have all the fears of mortals and the desires of immortals. Meaning that you worry about stuff like everything is coming to an end tomorrow. Like it's all going to end. You worry so much. But when it comes to setting your goals, you act like you have forever. You act like if your goal is to be the next Kanye West, you act like you have eternity to figure that out, so you don't act on it today. The key to getting good goals is setting your goals up with a timeline. So if my goal is to be wealthy, I could say, I want to be wealthy. But, whenever it happens, it'll happen. It'll happen in the future. So if that's my attitude, I'm not going to work on it today, because today I got to make this video. And today I got to go to the store to buy stuff for dinner. And today I got to work on my schoolwork. Today I got to go to work. All this stuff that has to happen today is going to pile on top of these long-term immortal kind of goals. So your goals have to have timelines. You have to say, I need to be wealthy. I need to be financially independent in 5 years. I need to have my art placed in a gallery in a month. If I want to play in a cover band, you could do that in a week. Set these goals, and the smaller the goal, and it's good to have small goals too. Have big goals, have small goals. For the small goals, set short little timelines. So if your goal is to be an influential artist, one of your sub-goals, one of your smaller goals could be get your art placed in a gallery. And getting your art placed in a gallery shouldn't take you more than 2 months. If it takes you more than 2 months, then nothing's happening. Then you're just kind of letting time pass by. But if you say 2 months, then you're going to start getting people on the phone. You're going to start shooting off emails so that you hit that deadline. And it feels good when you hit that deadline. I don't want you to have that feeling. Or if you want to play in a cover band, like I said before, give yourself a week. It's not that hard to find some gig somewhere where you can be playing guitar in a cover band. Give yourself a week to at least get give yourself a week to at least get an audition or something like that. Set the ball rolling so that it has to happen soon. Because if it doesn't happen soon, it'll never happen. It's too easy to put this stuff off. So set a timeline. Make sure you get it done. Stay tuned. In the next video, we're going to talk about taking these goals and visualizing them and turning them into realities in your life. Hope this was helpful. Stay tuned. That I have forever to get that goal done, I'm not